If you like to make your NFL games a little bit more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby, Vegas. It is the Even Money Betting Podcast. We are, of course, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. Most of you know that. You can check me out on social media at Ross Tucker NFL. Definitely check out us at Ross Tucker Pod, whatever social platform you're on, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think the TikTok's just me, at Ross Tucker NFL, because our excellent producer, Jack, he posts the 2 or 3 highlight clips from each show on the different social media platforms. Also to YouTube, by the way, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, where you can always watch the entire episode if you're so inclined. Programming note, Emory Hunt, my co-host for the College Draft Podcast, he was 5-2 last week in the bowl games. And so we have put that show, the College Draft show, on the Even Money feed this week because he's got picks for every single college football playoff game starting tonight with Boise State and Penn State, and then the 3 games tomorrow. Emory and I actually differed and went head-to-head on several of the games. So I think you guys will enjoy that if you're looking to bet on these college football playoff games the next couple days. Remember 2 things. Number 1, if you ever want to see all of our bets in black and white and see the strike rate and see it broken down by best bets and leans and totals and lines and teasers and all those things, our guy, Sean Grady, the Australian sensation, does a fantastic job. We call him Grades because that's his nickname, which is apropos. Patreon.com/RT Media. Just make sure you sign up for the Tuckheads level so you get access to our private Slack channel and you can see the beautiful spreadsheet every week. Patreon.com/RT Media. Welcome to the family, Noah Hoffman, Victor Bernardi, Matt Wagner, and Rob Barnett, as we continue to get more and more people that don't want to have to jot these things down while they're working out or commuting or whatever the case may be. Makes a lot of sense to me. Patreon.com/RT Media. Steve's the star of the show. I've said that since day one. He's the only 2-time winner of the Super Contest out there in Vegas, at Fezzik Sports, and only at Fezzik Sports. And Steve, we had a very, very, very frustrating week. I am angry, bordering on ornery. We will start for the week, by the way. I was down 5 units. You were down 1. So for the year, I am only up 5 units. You are up 8.5 units. So we've had fluctuations where we were down and then I was way up and now just a little bit in the black, which is still better than nothing. It started last week. Chiefs Steelers, we both put 1 unit on the Steelers and they laid a 3rd consecutive egg. They got blown out. Texans Ravens. I had 2 units on the Texans getting the 5.5. They laid an egg. But our best bet, Steve, the under 46.5, we nailed it. I went with you on that one. Final score was 31-2. 31-2. Thankfully, we got 2 units on that under, Steve.
Yeah, and the market was against us. Went up, I don't know if you saw it, up to 47 at post. You know, one comment, we got the best of the number with Pittsburgh, but we got lucky with Pittsburgh because we lost +3. We had the wrong side. It closed 2. That would have done considerable damage to teasers if we would have been round robining in Pittsburgh teasers at +2.5, by example.
Ooh, good point. Really good point. All right, Seahawks, Bears. We did not have anything. And then Patriots, Chargers. We both put 1 unit on the Patriots, playing at home, standalone game. After that performance against the Bills, I called the game for NFL Network, and Patriots were not competitive on either side of the ball. It was ugly, Steve.
If you haven't listened to Ross Tucker do his podcast, when he breaks down some analytics, it's like watching some Russian grandmaster playing a chess game against, I'm sorry to like your fellow brethren announcers are going to get angry at me, against Bozo the Clown, because their response is, well, you should always punt. You should always like not attempt to score, and you should always like take a knee at the end of the first half and go into the second half. And Ross understands to win football games, you should try to like put points on the board. Good job, Ross.
Well, thank you. But yes, I mean, I always think about what you think about is like in that situation, if 4th down and 3, you're in Patriots territory. Who's more likely with 23 seconds left to score points the rest of that half? The Chargers or the Patriots? I mean, give me a break. Broncos, Bengals. The Broncos, that was a tough one. This happened twice this week, Steve. Twice. I took the Broncos for 1 unit, getting 3.5. They lost in overtime. I hate the new overtime rule. The new overtime rule cost me 3 units, cost you 3 units, Steve. And I'm wondering if it's impactful enough that it should be taken into the calculus with some of these spreads.
Yeah, and it never is going to, because the public loves betting on favorites. So they love when a favorite covers in overtime, right?
Absolutely brutal that it looked like it could be a tie. And then at that point, late in the game, at the end of regulation and even in overtime, all the Bengals needed was a field goal. And they screwed up at the end of the first half, at the end of regulation with Chase Brown getting injured. Then their kicker misses a chip shot field goal. Just a brutal loss. Brutal, brutal, brutal. The Saturday night game we did well on. It was Cardinals-Rams. It was a best bet. We both had the Cardinals getting 6. They probably should have won that game outright. They lost by 4. Jets, Bills, I lean Jets. That was terrible. The Jets have laid down. The biggest disappointment for us over the weekend, Steve, you can debate whether it was the Falcons and the way they lost or the Colts as one of our teaser legs, the only one of our 4 round-robin best bet teaser legs that didn't come through. We had the Colts laying 2. They lost outright to the Giants 45-33.
And when the Colts cut the lead to 2 and they're going for 2, you're like, all right, here we go. It was not to be. I don't know, the teasers, they're frustrating because when they all line up, you make so much money, and then oftentimes when you lose them, they're really close. It can be rather frustrating.
Extremely frustrating the way the Colts played in that game. Then we get to the Cowboys and Eagles. No Jalen Hurts. We got the better of the number with the Cowboys -9, but then they shut down CeeDee Lamb, and they got shut down. So the 2 units I put on the Cowboys blew up in my face. Bucks, Panthers. We had the Bucks as a teaser leg from -8 down to -2. That cashed easily. Jags, Titans, we had nothing. No idea what to expect from those teams. Raiders, Saints, same, nothing. Dolphins, Browns, we teased the Dolphins down 0.5 point. Very confident they would win the game. Tua surprisingly didn't play, but they still won the game 20-3. Packers, Vikings, we teased the Packers up to 7.5. They had to battle actually to come back to give us the cover there, but they did it. So that was the other teaser leg that hit. Falcons, Commanders, one of the all-time bad beats again. Raheem Morris refuses to use his timeout, which would have enabled the Falcons to kick a closer field goal. Instead, their field goal kicker is short by multiple yards from 56 yards when it looked like it would be down the middle. Then they lose on a touchdown in overtime. You put 3 units on it, Steve. I put 2 units on it. And I feel like Raheem Morris owes us some money.
Yeah, and I had a great holiday week. Frankly, I've had a bad football season overall, but I was having a long winning streak that ended with that disaster on Atlanta because I was about to punch in a 10-2 week for the holiday week. So that was beyond frustrating, Ross.
Oh, man. I just don't understand why he didn't call timeout. I don't understand.
Because he doesn't have someone in his ear doing his job for him. It's not his job. hire someone, call timeout, I'll explain why later. I mean, that's all you need. Instead of you can't teach a coach, hey, I'll just teach you to solve a 4x4 Rubik's Cube. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Well, that was very disappointing. Again, we were getting 4 points. So even if the Commanders just win by a field goal, we're fine. Brutal. Lions, Niners, we had nothing. Again, for the week, I was down 5 units. You were down 1. Our best bets for the week, we were 5 and 6 on the best bets. So for the season, I already told you our year to date, we're both still in the black. You're 8.5, I'm 5. Our best bets, 66, 58, and 3. We have a 52% strike rate on our best bets. We move onward and upward. Steve, literally today is your last chance to get this ridiculous deal from my friends over at westshorehome.com/Ross. Remember, they were already offering 25% off. Now it's even better. If you schedule your appointment by the end of the day today, they'll take an additional $2,000 off all shower and bath projects. You can still get the extra $1,000 from westshorehome.com/Ross. So we are stacking promos like you need to do when you're making bets. 25% off, plus $2,000, plus $1,000, but you have to get your free, no obligation quote by today. westshorehome.com/Ross, westshorehome.com/Ross. I love my 2 new showers. I love my doors. I didn't even realize how much better new doors can be. I had no idea. westshorehome.com/Ross. Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football is a we thing, an experience best enjoyed together with good drinks and good folks. Smirnoff's the world's #1 vodka and an official vodka partner of the NFL. And this is a great week to enjoy some Smirnoff cocktails. It's New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Day. It's college football playoff. It's NFL Week 18. This holiday, when you're enjoying the game and your cocktails, please make sure to drink responsibly. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. All right, Steve, let's dive into this week's games. It starts on Saturday. The Browns at the Ravens. The Browns are getting 17.5 points. The total is 42.
The only bet that I could recommend doing it, and I'm not going to say it, I'll say it. Baltimore's going to win this game. So if you're brave enough and you want to shop around and risk $1,500 to win 100, it's as close to a sure thing as you'll ever see, but no play for me, Ross.
You know, Week 18's tough, Steve. It really is, because you don't know who's going to play. You don't know which team comes to play, like the Giants, whereas all the other teams laid down. It's tough. It would just be a lean to me with the Browns getting that many points. That is a lot of points. I'll lean Cleveland getting 17.5. What about Bengals Steelers? The Steelers are getting 1.5 at home, Steve.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is Baltimore's going to win. That's going to clinch the division. And then the square sharps are going to say, oh, Pittsburgh they can't win the division anymore, and they're going to bet on the Bengals. All right, Ross? Well, that's already baked into this number because Baltimore, we know, is going to win. So I'm going to be cool. I'm going to wait it out, and I'm going to see this line inflate as soon as it's clear Baltimore is going to win. I'm going to bet Pittsburgh, so I'm not going to do it now. Actually, I am going to do it now because I don't see any way this line gets to 3. So I'm going to tease Pittsburgh right now up to the plus 7.5. But if you wait, you might even get a better number. This is going to be a close competitive game. There's no way Tomlin, after coming into this game on a losing streak and with 8 days to get ready for the playoffs, or at least 7 days, there's no way he's going to rest any starters. So Pittsburgh and teasers, close game.
Pittsburgh plus 7.5 as a teaser leg. Totally agree. Best bet. I'm thoroughly confused. Even if the Steelers can't win the division, they want to be the 5 seed. They want to play the Texans. They don't want to be the 6th seed and have to play at Baltimore. Are you out of your mind? The Steelers, the last thing they want to do is go to Baltimore. They want to go to Houston and win a playoff game, which Tomlin hasn't won in forever. Love the Steelers plus 7.5. Love, love, love. All right, we get to the Sunday game, Steve. Giants, Eagles. The Giants are getting 3 points. The total's 38.5.
Yeah, you tell me. I don't know which Eagles are going to play, so I got to pass.
I don't know. I have no inside information. Given their track record and some of the comments from guys like Lane Johnson and A.J. Brown, I would be surprised if the Eagles played their guys. I think that they do have some young guys that can play and might come out and play well. But the Giants, man, that was impressive what they did against the Colts. They're obviously firing on all cylinders right now. For one unit, I'll take the New York Giants plus 3. The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause on that is I think Tanner McKee for the Eagles can play. I've seen enough of him in the preseason the last couple of years. I think he's pretty good, but I think it's a close game regardless. All right, let's talk Patriots and Bills. This is an interesting one. Patriots are getting 2.5, Steve. If they win, if they lose, they lock up the number 1 pick. If they win, they do not.
Yeah, lots of moving parts. I still think New England's the players are going to play hard, and this is bouncing between 2.5 and 3. I'm going to lean to the Patriots, but there's a lot of volatility. I'm not going to tease the Patriots. No play.
I am teasing the Patriots. I don't see how. Josh Allen and those guys are not playing. And if those guys are not playing, how did the Patriots lose by 2 scores, especially after that embarrassment last week against the Chargers? Patriots plus 8.5 as a teaser leg. Always, of course, 2 units. The Bears and the Packers are laying 9.5. Totals 40.5.
Yeah, and the Packers have been coming out guns a-blazing from the get-go, so I can't tease them at 9.5. I will lean to the Packers in the first half. I think that might be the better way to get at this. Lean Green Bay first half.
Yeah, I think Green Bay wants to win the game. I don't think they want to have to play the Eagles. So I think Green Bay is going to be all out in this game. And I can't remember when the Commanders play. So I like the Packers quite a bit in this one, but I don't lay 9.5 in the NFL. It's a heavy lean to the Packers laying the 9.5. We got the Saints getting 13.5 against the Bucs, who need to win the division. Total is 43.5.
So this is what, a 30-30 game? One team wins by 30, one team loses by 30, or close to it. And by all accounts, the Saints are trying to play their guys. They're trying to get Kamara back. They're trying to get Olave back. If that's the case, as good as Tampa Bay's playing and as bad as the Saints are playing, wowza, you can't make this line 13.5. Give me the plus 13.5, 2 units Saints.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not doing that. Those guys aren't playing. That they're just saying that for the fans. I would say 0% chance Kamara and Olave play in this game. Maybe 1% chance. I would be shocked. That would be like, that'd be malpractice by that organization. All right, what about the Panthers getting 8.5 against the Falcons? Totals 47.5.
What a disappointment. The Falcons had it. They had it. And now they're going to be going home for the holidays. But they'll play with pride. I'm going to tease Atlanta. That's one of my teaser legs.
Yeah, I can't do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose the game. I think they kind of knew that they blew it. I'm going to go the other way. Carolina plus 8.5, 2 units. I like Carolina to keep that one close. All right. Commanders are laying 4 at the Cowboys. Totals 44, Steve.
So strong lean to Washington, the much better team that have lots of motivation to get this win. And Dallas is just a dunzo team. Lean Washington.
I would lean Washington as well. No CeeDee Lamb is a major, major difference maker for the Cowboys, both on the field and I think kind of psychologically. How about my game, Steve? This is cool. I didn't realize the spread was only 1 point. I'm doing the Texans Titans on CBS, so hopefully you guys, some of you can tune into that or hear me on the Red Zone. The total is a low 38.5. D'Amico Ryans says he's playing his starters. The Titans are going to play both quarterbacks, Mason Rudolph and Will Levis.
Yeah, he might play his starters, but I can't see him playing them the entire game. It makes no sense. I can understand Houston wanting to get that bad taste of last week and put it in at least a good quarter, but I could only look to the Titans. This line is saying that the Texans aren't going to play their starters the whole game. Hey, don't lay -1 because the money line's -112. So put me down for the Titans -112, 2 units.
Okay. Steve is taking the Titans on the money line. Let's talk Jags, Colts. The total's 46. The Colts are laying 4.5.
I don't know what the mindset of the Colts are. And, it's funny. Poor Jonathan Taylor fumbled 2 weeks ago and then laughed about it. It cost him the season. 1 week later, he's laughing about it, protecting the ball in the end zone. And he mishandles, the lateral going into the Colts have blown their season sky high. Give me Jacksonville plus the points, 2 units.
What do you think, Steve, about teasing the Jags from +4.5 to +10.5, going through the key numbers of 7 and 10?
Yeah, it just doesn't work because you're also going through the totally unimportant numbers of 5, 8, and 9. So it just works out. There's got to be a 25% warning, danger math. There's got to be a 25% chance that this game lands 5 to 10, and there just isn't. So it's only a good bet if it would be a good bet taking the points already.
All right, so you took the Jags +4.5 for how many units?
I'll just go 1 unit on that.
1 unit. All right. I'm going to go 1 unit as well. So we got a best bet there. I think the Colts, it's very different now that they're donezo. So we got a best bet on Jags +4.5. Now we get to some of the later games. How about the Chiefs getting 10 points against the Broncos? Totals 38.5.
Sure feels like I hope no one tells the Chiefs that they're catching 10 because that might suddenly motivate them. I will lean to Kansas City, who I think they're not going to want to get blown out after going 15-1, but let's face it, they got 24 days off and they're probably already celebrating.
It would be a lean to the Chiefs for me as well. I actually think Carson Wentz will come out and play pretty well, but just a lean to Kansas City. Chargers are laying 5.5 at the Raiders. Totals 41.5.
Yeah, Chargers are motivated, but the Raiders, amazingly, are playing well. Someone tell the Raiders coach he's not going to be back, but hey, maybe if he won this game, he might actually be under consideration, so I'm going to pass.
I will pass as well. Yeah, I mean, if he wins this one, then Mark Davis is really going to have something to think about. 3 straight wins, including a playoff-bound Chargers team. I think I would just lean to the Chargers, though, laying the 5.5. They really want to try to get that 5 seed. Although I guess they would know at that point. So I take that back. They would know at that point whether that's even a possibility. So that's one where you got to wait and see what happens with that Steelers game. What about the Dolphins? They're laying 1.5 on the road against the Jets. Totals 39.5.
Boy, I have no idea what the mindset is with the Jets right now. I'm going to pass the game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just can't do it with the Jets. Normally I would tease them up to 7.5, but man, there's so much negativity coming from that organization right now. I just can't do it. It's a pass for me as well. What about Seahawks laying 3 against the Rams? Totals 39.5.
So another question about how much playing time the stars are going to get for the Rams. In games like this, I would only, if you're going to invest in the Rams, I would only look towards the first half. Oftentimes coaches will play their starters just for a half. That's the only advice I would give.
Yeah, I'm going to lay the 3 with Seattle. because I think they want to finish strong. And Sean McVay, if you notice during the preseason, he doesn't play anybody. He is very cautious about injuries. I don't think he's going to play his guys in this game very much, if at all. You know what, though? That's the difference between the 3 seed and the 4 seed, isn't it? It could be the difference between the 3 seed and the 4 seed.
Yes.
Take back everything I just said. Forget that. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking that chance. I'll just lean to Seattle laying the 3. What about the Niners and the Cardinals? The Cardinals are laying 3 at home. Total's 44. May not have Brock Purdy.
Yeah, it's I mean, the Niners played hard. That could have been their last gasp against the Lions. So too many moving parts again. I know we love taping on Tuesday, but this is the sort of week where you don't want to lock in a bet that could be horrifically bad. So I have to pass.
Yeah, I would agree. I would just lean Arizona -3, but I don't feel good enough about it to go all the way on it. Vikings are at the Lions. Total's 57. I am surprised the Vikings are getting 2.5 points. I'm teasing them right up to 8.5 and pairing them with the Steelers and the Patriots. Those are my 3 teaser legs this week.
Absolutely. So the Lions exposed the NBA last night. Everything that's wrong with the NBA was shown by the Lions, who played their hearts out in a meaningless game. And how entertaining was that for everyone to watch it? But ultimately, not a good move by Dan Campbell, in my opinion. This is the game that matters, and this is going to be a close, competitive game. Vikings and teasers, absolutely, despite the sky-high total.
Sky-high total, expecting a ton of points in that game. Should be absolutely awesome. Good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money.
Thanks for tuning in to Even Money. Make sure to also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.